Quite literally 2,000 pounds per square inch of power has been measured within the mouth of an alligator. So he could easily crush my hand like a potato chip, which means if I were to touch anything inside of his mouth,
Whoa!
you just have to do it quick. Okay.
Got me on that one.
Hopefully you're paying attention right there, because if you weren't, we open tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Right. Not going to do it twice. Now the thing about that, am I faster than the alligator? No, of course not. Nobody's faster than the alligator. It's just very, very basic reflexes here, guys. When I pull my hand out, I touch the tip of the teeth on the way out. By the time his brain realized I just touched him, you're already out of there. Now, if you mess it up, well, that's on YouTube. You can look for yourself, okay? Not going to happen here, all right? Now, even though the alligator bites down with this immense amount of jaw pressure, you can actually hold their jaw shut with your bare hands, as you can see right here. All that power is in closing the mouth, very little for opening the mouth. So I can actually hold the jaw shut with my bare hands. Now from here, we're going to get onto the back of the alligator. And the way we're going to do that is by covering up his eyes so he can't see, and then twisting around and getting onto his back. Now before I do that, I do want to show everybody something very, very important about the alligators though. Especially the dudes, pay attention, okay? We always capture alligators like this. We never ever approach the alligator like this. Okay, very important to remember, folks. All right, so what we're gonna do, go ahead and cover up those eyes. We're gonna twist around, get onto his back over here. Now, I haven't touched him yet, so he doesn't actually know where you are. And then there you go. Okay, now when we look inside the mouth of that alligator, there are 80 teeth inside of his mouth, 40 top and 40 bottom. Now the neat thing about the teeth, they'll actually cycle around 3,000 to 4,000 in a lifetime. It's a natural shed them, or if they bite down on something solid, they'll break the teeth off, grow them back. No worries for the alligator, which obviously comes in handy when you bite down with all that immense amount of jaw pressure. Now let me explain to everybody why we have all these alligators in here and where they come from before I do anything else. So these are all nuisance gators. That means they're the ones that showed up in someone's backyard swimming pool, or they ate Fluffy, or something like that. Okay? It happens, they eat people's dogs, and once he eats a dog, they call it a trapper to capture and kill the alligator. Unless that dog was a Pomeranian, then they let him go eat more. Yeah, you guys aren't with me on that? That's like my best joke I got. Now, unfortunately though, all jokes aside, the state of Florida actually destroys around 10,000 nuisance alligators annually, which obviously is a very sad thing. But you guys can help by not being nuisance people, okay? By that I mean people that feed him. Don't feed the alligators, very important. Once you feed him, he'll learn to associate humans with food. Then if you come back without food, you might be the food, okay? That's the source of almost all the alligator attacks we have are from people feeding them. Normally, they're afraid of us. Alligators want nothing to do with you. They actually avoid people. But once they're fed, that's where we do have these attacks. The other thing, they do eat people's pets. Now, if you come to Florida and you let your dog swim in a canal, and an alligator eats your dog, and you're surprised by this, okay? Welcome to Florida, all right? Now, unfortunately, though, they'll kill the alligator like it was his fault for these things. So these are things we can do to help out the alligator so that they don't have to get killed. Now, just give me an idea of how dangerous alligators actually are. Is anybody here a fan of golf? Anybody? No? Yeah, golf sucks, I know. Okay. But what's interesting about golf, there are, on average, around 49 people a year is the average. They're killed by golf balls. 49 people a year. Now, that's every year. You know how many people have ever been killed by alligators in the state of Florida since we've kept record of it? It's somewhere around 50 to 60 people. So every year, almost as many people are killed by golf balls than ever by alligators, okay? So this moral of the story is Tiger Woods is a lot badass than I am. No, I'm just kidding. But, so the moral of the story is that alligators are not actually out to get you. They're not bad or evil animals, okay? Now, of course, they do bite though, okay? You do want to keep your distance and respect the wildlife, but also understand that they're not going to come after you. Now, gator wrestling comes from the Seminole Indians, the techniques they would use to capture the alligators. Not real wrestling. I don't hurt them or headlock them, and I don't wear tight spandex either, okay? Now, what they would do is they'd want to jump on the back like I am right now and tie a rope around these jaws, and the way they tie that rope when they were by themselves is by holding the jaws shut between their chin and their chest, allowing your two hands to be free to take out a rope and tie a knot, what we call a bulldog. You guys want me to demonstrate that for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure, Chris, if you want to die, go ahead. We'll take pictures. Yeah? All right, guys, so they hold up the alligator like so. No hands. Shake his head. Press, all right. Yeah, get that picture quick. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. So there, If I had a rope, I'd actually bring it out to the sides, then bring it around the front and tie it up around the jaw. So that's how the Seminoles would actually capture and restrain the gator. Now we look at their back. They have these big bumps and ridges on their back side, all back here as well. These things are made out of solid bone. Each one being what we call an osteoderm, bone, skin, in Latin. So this is like armor plating on his back to protect him. If you look at my bracelet, that's what it's made out of. Are these bone plates across the back as armor. Now if we take a look at his eye, he actually has a ferret eyelid. I'm going to get him to close his eye. When he opens it, watch for something to flick sideways across. Come on, do it. There you go. You guys see that? It went by very quickly, but if you watch, you can see that thing go right across. That's called a nictitating membrane. That comes up like swimming goggles for the alligator and to protect his eye when he thinks something's going to hurt him, like my finger. And then right behind the eye is his ear, right back here. Yeah, it's kind of cute, like a really ugly dog. Okay, so you can seal off that ear canal to keep out water and seal off the nostrils at the top as well. Now I do have one last trick to show everybody, but before I do it, let me tell you a little bit about myself, so you guys don't think I'm just some dumb redneck in here. Just see the looks. Now, believe it or not, I actually do have my bachelor's degree in environmental studies from Florida International University. So I'm an educated redneck. There's a difference. Yes. Hey, if you don't think there's a difference, spend some time in that office, okay? There's a difference. That's my best joke, really. But I would like to do crocodilian research for graduate school. So working at a place like this does give you what we call first-hand, or also call it no-hand experience, depending on how the day goes, okay? Now, the other things I literally do pay my tuition by wrestling gators. And the other things that work here, I'm also a volunteer. Now, this is due to liability reasons. That way, if he does rip off my arm, Holiday Park sends me a Get Well Soon card, and that's all. Very nice. It also means as a volunteer, there's no hourly pay. I'm doing the show for free, unless I can impress you guys enough with something in those tip jars, part of which we use to help our gators. So our last trick is what we call a face-off. You mess it up, your face comes off. Hold them up nice and careful. Get your picture quickly, please. Everybody got one, right? That's enough of that, guys. Good job. All right. Thank you very much.